Welcome to the Carr Brothers with Jeff, Jack, and Jody Carr. They talk about current events, politics, community, and business. Take it away, boys.
Hi there, welcome to the Carr Brothers Show. It's episode 147. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jody, the third of the three Carr Brothers, by 7 minutes, mind you. And we're just so happy to be back and to have you back joining us here in Carr Brothers Show.
Yeah, we've had the summer off, which is what we do every year.
Well, we haven't. The show has.
Exactly.
Took a little break.
It's funny, that came up because guys, when whether we're opposition or government, each side banters back and forth. But when the government chooses to recess the legislature, then the opposition will say, why are you recessing the legislature? You're taking that time off. You should be working. And, of course, MLAs work 7 days a week, 20 hours a day type thing. And so anyway, that reminded that. Yes, we had the show off, but that doesn't mean that we've taken the whole time
Doesn't mean
off.
the work doesn't stop.
So during this show, it's the three of us. We don't have a guest this week, but we'll chat about first, we'll chat about the summer and politics and community events and things like that. And then I think we'll chat about, we've got probably about 8 shows between now and Christmas.
Ooh, can't wait.
4 of them are booked so far for guests, so we'll give a tee up of our guests that we have coming up and anything else that might come up. So
That'll be good.
yeah.
And where did the summer go?
Well, it's just
I think we need a search party out looking for the summer. It just come and gone and disappeared. And now we're into almost November.
It's just as they say, Jody turned 50 this summer, and they said back in the day, guys, as you get older, it'll go quicker. Well, that's come
boys,
true.
it's
Where
just
did it go?
the fastest moving summer my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weather was so good all summer that I guess it just seemed to slide by.
Very dry.
Very dry, though. Yes, very dry conditions.
Record droughts, and we want to send out our appreciation to the first responders, the firefighters, the EMO, all those people that help protect our forests and forest fires, and the work that people did for prevention and things. And they had a lot of hot fires on their hands there for a bit. So and then a few times going out of province to help other provinces as well. So
I can't imagine being one of those firefighters or first responders in the woods when it's 30 degrees, putting out hot spots and stuff, and pulling hoses and carrying the water backpacks and stuff. It's what a job. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So thankful for those people, and a lot of them are community volunteers too, right? That do it in a lot of communities in the province. So kudos to them. Big job, and takes a big coordination of people at EMO and whatnot to organize all the attacks and how you do it, and the wind, and pray for rain and all that stuff. So
logistics, accommodations, and supplies, and
the expense
and all that
that goes along with it too must be just out of this world, to do that, manage all that. So
now, what else was burning up across this region with you guys was real estate. The last we left off here, Jeff was just starting out his new career in real estate. And then the summer went by. Tell us, how was the summer in real estate?
Well, I had a very busy summer, a lot to learn, as you guys both know. And you're learning it on the fly. So if somebody wanted to put a photo side by side of when I started and what I look like now, like probably my hairline's receded a lot.
You're 6'2".
It's a little more gray, but it's been.
Lady used to say my hair was black and I was 6'2", and then gray hair shorter.
But it's been an interesting summer. I've learned a lot so far, and I'll learn a lot more.
Tell me this:
forward.
what's your biggest surprise in real estate? Selling and buying homes.
It's the amount of paperwork that you have to be paying attention to, and because they are legal contracts that the lawyers want to have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, you just have to really pay attention to what you're writing and how you're wording some of the conditions and things like that. So that's been interesting. But I've had, Jack and Cheryl and Nick with us who have a lot of experience, but then the greater team at the Keller Williams office in Fredericton, like you can ask lots of questions and people are pretty happy to help you out. So, but that's been my biggest surprise, I think, is just understanding that process, documentation, and then systems that go along with it, and strategies that go with it. And I guess the overlap, though, which is great, the overlap from my previous work, understanding wetlands and zoning and reading
Access.
legislation and understanding the legislation and regulations and where it all derives from and how it works all in. So that's been an advantage for me, I think.
What an A, B, and C road is for snow
Yeah,
plowing. And
that. What's a private road and a public,
Non-designated.
non-maintained, because you do find properties that are on those types of roads or private lanes and things. So understanding what that means for your buyers is huge. And
it provides huge value because a lot of times, for whatever reason, you will run into owners that are going to resell. They weren't aware of it when they purchased the property about a non-maintained public road and what that all means. So we're able to provide value to our buyers of that insight that not everyone may have that experience. So.
Well, and being able to translate some of that stuff for other buying agents or other agents that are coming to you to ask about those properties, you know where to direct them to look for information. So it's been that overlap's been very helpful for me, I think, to work through. But yeah, the documentation, and that's been the biggest surprise, is just how much paperwork. I mean, some of the purchases we do can be 15 pages of different schedules and things like that. But I'm getting the hang of it now, working my way through it. So but the biggest, the joy of it is helping people find something that they can afford or they like, they've been looking for it, and then getting them to closing day and working through all the pit stops that could happen.
Yeah.
And,
The stresses and the challenges.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Issues. You're dealing with the banks, or you're dealing with the
Lawyers.
sellers, you're dealing with the lawyers.
Inspectors and really one of the biggest roles of, because I've been doing this for almost 12 years now, 11 and a half years, but one of the biggest roles is being a problem solver, a networker and a problem solver. Keeping deals together and finding solutions, and rather than just when we call clients, it's not just telling them about the problem, but having a solution already worked out or a few options. That's one of the biggest roles, I think, and we'll see that even more as the market sort of balances more, which it is more of a balance than, say, obviously COVID, but we're going to see more and more where people will rely on expertise and experience to be able to get them through a transaction, find the home that they need, but also keep that deal together and help sellers too. So I'm awfully proud of Jeff for jumping in, especially being over 50 and learning new things. And
it's true.
But really, like you said, taking a lot of your lifetime experience. But just proud that how you've taken that, run with it. But not coming in, being open, I guess, to learn and to learn new things as well. And you've always maintained that. But you're doing great.
Well, yeah. What's this now? Because I saw on Facebook
Yes.
with Keller Williams this capping thing, and I saw Jeff was like fairly soon, just like not that long ago.
Not that long into his
starting out, but some people it takes a long time, and Jeff just seemed to be almost right away capping.
So
a few months.
Yeah.
But not bad. I mean, I only started I guess I really got licensed in March. I think I had my first closing closer into the early part of June. So yeah, June, July, August. Yeah, about 3 months or so to cap. So that's not too bad. So
that's excellent.
Tell us what
it's more than not too bad. It's outstanding.
Tell us, Jack, what this is.
Right.
A lot of that stuff gets shared on social media, and probably 95% of the public don't understand what it means.
What really it means.
Took me a little while to figure it out myself, but
so what that means. So all brokerages. So to be a licensed realtor in New Brunswick, you have to be with a brokerage. That's the rule. Is so you can't be an individual agent. You can be an individual agent, yes, but you need to have a covering of a brokerage, such as Keller Williams, Capital Realty, Exit, Remax, Royal Page, all the realtor brands that we know. So you have to be signed up with a brokerage. So every brokerage has different fee structures when you're an agent. You're basically an independent contractor working for a company. So there's a fee structure that's different for everyone, and it's a tiered system. So when you have a sale, let's say, just for argument's sake, if it's $100 commission that you make, generally a lot of them will start off in the first tier of a 70-30% split. So when you charge the commission, which is on average 5%, Some are 6%, but on average it's 5%. Usually half of that goes to one agent, the other half goes to the other. That commission gets split with the brokerage. So that's what we're talking about.
Head office gets a cut.
Head office gets a cut for providing their support and branding and things like that. So usually most of them are 70-30. So if you have $100, let's say, for a commission, $30 would go to the brokerage company, $100 or $70 would go to stay with the realtor. Well, that 30% then goes to a second tier. It's a reward, I guess, for the production that you do. So that 30% would, some are 90-10, some are 80-20, things like that. Well, our company at Keller Williams Capital Realty in New Brunswick, that second tier is 100%. It goes to 100% zero. So when you reach your cap, if you will, it gets capped out. That's why it's called a cap. So when you get up to something like $26,000 for an individual agent, and less than that if you're on a team, then that's called a cap. You've reached your cap.
Yeah.
So that 30% from every transaction goes towards that number until we reach that number.
That maximum
and then once
threshold.
you reach that maximum threshold,
Then you get
called, you're capped out, and then you keep that 30%
yes,
for the
yes.
rest of the year.
For the rest of the year until
So-
your calendar, until your rollover anniversary.
So
date.
pretty phenomenal then. Jeff just starting out within 3 months or so, capping his full commission
Yeah.
to the brokerage,
Yeah.
to the Keller Williams, which is great, fantastic. And that's why Austin Drisdale was so excited the other night when I saw him at the dinner and with Jack Carr Realty and Jeff and
You're at
he's
the hospice gala.
Yeah.
he's the owner of Keller Williams New Brunswick, and so he was quite impressed with how your team is working.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have done it as an individual agent.
No,
There's
no.
just no way, even if I was with Keller and an individual agent, just wouldn't. It's because I have a team that I work with that we feed
great
off of
team.
one another. And that's the only way. I wouldn't have done it. I mean, some do. There's lots of them that do, but it takes them a little bit longer, and they're established and things like that. But because Jack has a number of listings, or we have a number of listings as a team, then you have more interaction with clients.
Well, and I think the reputation that Jack built, the reputation that Jeff you have, that we have
And you,
collectively,
Jody, yeah.
Ideally,
Yeah.
people trust that they go
It
to
helps
guys
to get
will
the job done.
We'll get the job done.
Helps.
And
So that's been interesting. But yeah,
good.
Austin called me a couple of weeks ago. He was going over some numbers, and this is what I like about the company we're with. Like, the leadership from the company will call you and check on you, and they're there for advice. But they also call you when you do a good job.
Yeah.
And that didn't necessarily happen in lots of other fields of work.
No.
It just doesn't.
No,
You usually
it's
get a
human
call when
nature.
you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he called me and just talked about joining. I joined them in the spring, and very happy with my progress so far, and wants to continue building what we have here and what we do, and strengthen us. And that means a lot. It's just a 3 or 4 or 5 minute conversation. That's a big deal. So for Austin to do that and provide that leadership it's meaningful for employees or partners. I guess he calls us his partners, because we're all a partnership when we do it together. So, and what he called about was
New agent.
there's all kinds of stats that the team watches.
And not every brokerage tracks stats the way
Right.
that we do, Keller
Yeah.
Williams and our team, just for the viewers to know.
Yeah.
But we're right on
so
tons of stats.
all
as I
all
mentioned.
kinds. Every Tuesday we have the huddle, the Fredericton team huddle in the office, and just going over sales and what the trends are in the city and around. And it's really good, helpful. But on this particular one, it was new agents that just joined Keller Williams this year, and the number of transactions province-wide with Keller, and the number of transactions at that time, a couple weeks ago, that new agents did, we call them units, buying and selling, was around 104 total. And I made up about a third of them at the time.
Yes.
Myself. So he called, thank you very
very
much.
happy.
You're doing
Yes.
great. What else do you need? We wanted you to see you stay here instead of in a couple of years see your name on a ballot somewhere. But it's showing value too, right? And that's important. And that's
Good.
huge.
Good.
So
Good.
that was
Good.
it was fun. Just get the call out of the blue and chit chat.
Well, Austin and the Keller Williams leadership team have done a tremendous job growing the company. It's a international company, the biggest agent count in the world, and and been in existence for 40 years, but in New Brunswick has been in existence for 14 or so, and went from about 15 agents in the Fredericton region, and now we're well over 250 province-wide, and we've got something like 22% of the market share in all of the province. So.
And Austin Drisdale out of Fredericton,
he's the broker owner of
all of New Brunswick.
Yeah,
which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
He's got an impressive team too with Jonathan and Trevor Drisdale and their team, and very collaborative.
So he's growing different ways to grow it and strategy. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's kind of what we started talking about, how the summer went, and we started talking about me a lot.
Well, it hasn't really slowed down a lot. No. It's staying steady in the real estate market.
Yeah, and if you look at the stats come out every month from the Canadian Real Estate Association for each province, and it's broken down by city and region. So the latest one came out, and I mean, you can look at the headlines, but if you actually delve into the stats, the average sale price up again. I think it's 9.5% from year to date this year compared to last year, so it's still up 9.5%. However, the number of sales are down, and days on market are a little bit longer.
A little longer listed,
but there's certainly growth still, and balance a bit of a more of a balanced market as well. So it's still very healthy and vibrant. Inventory is still lower, which has still driven up the competition, but still waiting for the banks to reduce their interest. They haven't done that yet this summer or fall, the interest rates. So that's a bit of out of the ordinary. So I think when that happens, that'll spur on more activity as well.
Yeah, hopefully it goes in that direction that they lower. I think inflation's up a hair, but I was just watching a little bit of it on the news there the other night about inflation kind of crowding up a little bit. So we'll see, but it would boost lending if the number dropped, 0.25% or something in the next little bit. We kind of good.
Yeah, Jode, you've been busy. You're a real estate lawyer primarily, wills and estates as well.
Wills, estates, probates, do some investigations on the side of workplace investigations. It's busy. It's my busiest year. Every year I've been in 6 years now. Every year growth. Grown in Fredericton, Ormocto, 2 offices, Ormocto and Fredericton. And it just keeps getting amazed at how it keeps growing. A combination of reasons, I believe. One, some of our existing lawyers have retired and retire every 1 or 2 a year or so. And then also I think the work that we do and the reputation of dealing with issues, having good customer service. We try to go that little extra step for our realtors and brokers and our clients, buyers and sellers. It's fun. It's fun. I never knew I would have so much fun doing it, but I love it because it's transactional. I like the start, finish, done, over, onto the next. And now...
Well, the process is transactional, but your relationship is still there with the clients.
Very much so.
Yes,
very much so.
But there's a system. You get systems, and it's an A and a B, and a start and an end, I guess. And you're great at it.
And now, I mean, it's fun to see repeat people like that have bought before or selling, or that have bought and now they're buying again, or that they have children and their children are using me to do their work. So I'm becoming one of those repeat lawyers now that have files, and I have to. One thing I got to stop doing, going out to the reception in my office, and seeing someone waiting to see me, a client waiting to see me. I'm like, we've met somewheres before, I think. Boy, you look familiar. And they're like, you sold my house like last year ago. And I'm like, oh, Tanis, my assistant. I said, Tanis, I got to stop saying that because I'm thinking that I met them one time somewhere else. And in fact, it was my own office. So that's now over 50. It's hard to keep track of.
Wait till you get to my age.
Yeah.
So, over the last even just month, bumping into people at different events.
They want to know when's the Carr Brothers coming back on.
They do. It's crazy. We want to watch you on TV, on CHCO, and they're asking the channel number, and it's quite something. So we're glad to be back. We're glad that people watch and tune in, and some people like watching all the episodes. Some people only want to watch different topics. So we're very happy that we're back and to do that. And I think, guys, we should probably just take a couple of minutes take a short break so that we can see the sponsorship that CHCO has on advertisements and things like that, and some of their supporters and stakeholders, and then we'll be right back with you in a couple of minutes. How's that sound?
Sounds great. Hello, welcome back to the Carr Brothers Show. It's episode 147, and I'm Jack.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jody, and welcome to the show. Welcome back. We've had a great conversation so far, and looking forward to the rest of this episode. Jack, people have asked often.
Yeah,
I'm amazed at at the people that do watch this show. It's amazing. It's probably one of the few local content, community content, public affairs, community events in New Brunswick. But anyways, that want to know where they can watch the show.
Oh, yeah, actually, it's a great question because when was it last year, Jeff, is when when CHCO picked up on Rogers and Shaw. Prior to that, it was only on Bell. It would be on Rogers locally in Charlotte County.
So prior to that, it wasn't going to every household?
No, it was just on Bell Satellite and Bell 5. And really, for a bunch of reasons, should have been on all of them for a lot of years. But anyhow, it was last year that CHCO got picked up on and is carried on Rogers, Shaw, and Bell. So essentially, anyone that has cable in New Brunswick now has access to CHCO TV, and so people are still learning, what channel and
really
what.
Basically, thanks to people in government,
yes,
the provincial government, the previous government, we finally with Pat's the producer, and St. Andrews, with his help on what policy you need to go after to change, and finally somebody in the provincial government would listen.
Yeah.
And it was not a hard, difficult change for it to get done. And I think the last cabinet in Blaine's government made that happen. Good. It just gives CHCO the ability to be in every household in the province, north, south, east, and west. So.
Well, and have to thank you, Jeff, in part as well. When you were an MLA, Kathy Bacchus as an MLA,
Kathy worked at it. I worked at it.
Dominic Cardy helped some there too, and
Bill Hogan and Trevor Holder. And,
and that was just last year.
Yeah.
That was just
I know.
And then to credit to Patrick Watt, the executive producer.
It was always so confusing, guys. I just have to say.
It was.
When your predecessors were around trying to pay attention to understand this, it's like, what?
But anyway,
weird.
But,
it got done.
And Patrick Watt's credit for sticking with it for like 20-some years.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so we're on all of the cable providers. We're the only channel that's a community-based channel in New Brunswick that's on all of them. So you'll have Rogers Community TV. They're only on Rogers. Right. So they're only on a portion of the households in New Brunswick. Well, CHCO is New Brunswick's only independent TV channel. True. And it's got the potential of all of the viewers who have cable. So that's what people ask us is, well, what channel do I see? Is Myra Boyd is a good example. We know Myra in Hampstead, Queenstown. And just this summer, she just discovered after 5 years that we have a TV show. And it isn't on social media.
My question is, where have you been, Myra?
Exactly.
No, but
so she's like, the ladies have to know this, and then she, got around and got the channel. So these are the channels. So on Bell Satellite and Bell 5, so there's two channels there. So when you're on Bell 5, it's channel 26. Bell Satellite is channel 539, and this is on their website, chco.tv. And on Shaw is channel 113, and on Rogers Xfinity is channel 133. Digital cable is channel 57, but there's exceptions as broken down here. They make it a little bit complicated there on Rogers, but it's still available. The exceptions are in Moncton is channel 59, Campbellton is channel 40, Charlotte County is channel 126, Graminan is channel 27. And St. Andrews is channel 9.
Wow.
So,
okay. So it's not an easy answer, but call your local provider, I guess.
Yep. Call your provider or go right on the website.
Go on CHCO.
Or go on your guide and see if you can find it on there.
And we have to remember, one of the most popular shows on CHCO is a bingo, TV bingo.
Right.
Tuesday nights is TV bingo, and Jay and the group and Patrick and the students that volunteer as well. It's the biggest fundraiser for CHCO is the bingo.
Because
Tuesday nights.
they're also, I mean, they have to rely on
That's
basically,
nonprofit.
nonprofit fundraising.
Yeah.
There's community television, little grants.
And they're
maybe.
expanding their, I guess their production all the time. They're
Yes.
kind of growing their newscasts and stuff like that. So
Vicky and and
Well, we can't thank them enough for keeping
us
signing
going.
us on for another 5
they
years.
signed us on. We got an extension.
yeah,
But they have their weekly TV show news break, and then the first cut, the first cut I think it's called, and that's a recap of the week's events and many other shows. So tune in to CHCO TV.
Okay.
and beyond that,
Yes.
where we're on. Obviously, when we first started the show, it was strictly just a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Basically, Jody, you started doing the technical stuff and the design work, and if you can, I guess maybe you can't go back and see those videos now because Facebook takes them down after 30 days or something like that.
Yes, I'm not very happy.
But in the early
Facebook.
days, that's what we did during COVID. I was in my basement on Zoom, and we did that for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then
We were hunkered
Patrick
down.
got a hold of Jack, and you guys talked about it, and he helped us with that. And it's just kind of taken off. But we still do continue to put it on Facebook as a live stream, every episode when we're doing it on Thursday evenings. And Jack kind of started transitioning us into YouTube.
Yes.
With our YouTube channel and podcast, so you can listen to it on a podcast.
Yep, driving into work.
All of our productions. And I mean, the reason for moving over into there has got different reasons, but it's on there once you upload it on there. And whereas Facebook Live or any Facebook videos disappear or come down expire after 30 days, I guess. I don't know what the terminology is. So
yeah, that just started. I think we got the notice earlier this year. I believe it's Facebook pages. Like it's not. I don't think it's your personal page with
the
videos.
pages.
And it very well could be. It's live videos, so it's live. It's not something the videos that you've uploaded.
Right.
So we do have a few shows that have been uploaded that, for whatever reason, I think a couple times maybe the live version. We had technical difficulties, and then they had to be uploaded. So earlier this year, they gave a notice about you got so many days to get these videos either downloaded or what have you.
And nobody ever reads those notices.
Well, I thought it was a scam. Story of my life.
Click here, click here.
Click, click,
Right.
click.
So you didn't. And
well,
I
it
mean,
was-
I assumed you were looking after
I
it.
know, and I appreciate that.
That's
And,
the confidence we had in you.
So the majority of our shows, now I had the majority of them downloaded because, or especially earlier on, I'd download each one. However, there were about 70 some that didn't quite get downloaded, but we did download them before the absolute deadline, which
So you
I
did.
believe was September. Yes.
So
We've got
everything worked
We've
out
got
fine.
the tapes, we got the shows. They're just not on Facebook right now. I mean, we've had 146. Now this is our 147th, but
And you'd have, if you uploaded them, you'd have to upload them in order,
I believe so. Yeah.
just so you wouldn't want to
Yeah.
make sure they're chronological.
So I don't think I'll do that with Facebook. I'm not pleased that they just gave that notice, took them all down, and a lot of people all over the world are not happy with that
months
decision.
notice.
Yeah, it's 3 months.
Just all of a
That's
sudden.
what they told me when I asked for an extension. So anyhow, I guess we'll still do Facebook Live, but however, the show is only going to stay on for 30 days on a live version, and then we'll do the YouTube Live, and then eventually I'd like to have all of them. In fact, that's what Myra Boyd said. Oh, can I watch? I got 5 years of shows to watch.
Binge watching.
And so eventually we'll upload them all on YouTube, and a lot of them are on the podcast, and we'll get all those up. And then moving forward, we'll have them on there. But it's a lot of shows, 147, including this
So
one.
about that though, now looking back was
Yeah.
one thing, but now looking
Yeah.
forward,
Right.
to the next number of shows before December. You said we have some people booked here already.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share with us about what people might want to expect in the next?
Yeah, guys. Yes. So I think we have about 8 shows between after this show and between now and Christmas, and so 4 of them are booked. And so one of the first ones that's booked, I don't have all the dates, but there's 4 of them. We'll put those on our Facebook and social media.
Okay, we'll watch out for those.
But one of them that we have is the CEO of MB Power.
CEO of MB Power.
What to talk
about?
What to
talk about?
Yeah.
What's going to come up with MB Power?
Larry Clarke.
Well, there's lots to talk about, and
Energy efficiency program.
Yeah, recent developments, way forward, what's coming next for MB Power, how things have gone in the last couple of years or so. Even this summer, there's been a review that's been undertaken. I think we want to learn a little bit about that stuff.
Major review is underway,
and she's more than happy to accept our invitation to come on the show. So that's really good. We'll be have a great discussion with Lori.
Well, with Lori, she's a straight talker, and there's no spin and no things like that.
That's
so she's great to chat with, always open for communication, as being elected in the past and things. But that'll be, people will be tuning into that.
Oh yeah,
people will be wondering here where we're going with our rates and why they seem like they're going up now versus in the past and things like that. So
yeah, and I think we want to have a good conversation about what energy security really means for us in the future, because there's people talking about it on social media and
in 3 years
the reasons why we're not going to have enough, and is there too many people moving here, and so it's all growth is good, but
I'd just be curious, wouldn't we just buy it from somewhere else, the
well,
cheapest
I think
amount?
we want to know, is there ability to do that? Is there do the other jurisdictions have the ability to sell us more? I guess so. Yeah, we'll see how all that plays out.
Well, we'll be dusting off some annual reports and some things, guys, and we'll be ready for that one.
I got
probably have
questions.
shelves of them, shelves and shelves of them.
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, we had good times about MB Power over the years.
I was cleaning out a tote the other day, and I had old annual reports for something. And
Wouldn't be us
books,
with 20
and
totes.
it's like, why am I hanging on to this? It's all online anyway. So what a waste of paper. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay,
so that's
else?
one of our guests that's coming up, and we have a few others.
Yes, we do.
About.
We have Premier Susan Holt will be coming on again. We had her on earlier this year. Yes, and earlier this year or last year.
It was last spring.
It
was last spring, and last season we had her on.
This past spring.
Yeah. So now she'll be 1 year, governing for 1 year. Sometime in October was the
1 year mark.
1 year mark. I don't even remember, October 15th or something. Maybe, I don't know. So maybe we want to talk to her about some of those things. How has the year gone?
Yeah.
Was it everything you dreamed it would be?
Yeah.
And then by then there'll be another session completed. They're in the middle of a session now, a second session. So
probably gets over December 17th, 18th, and there usually a week before Christmas gets over. So we'll get a little recap on how the year has gone.
Yeah, we'll chat about that. We'll talk about, I'm sure, other things, commitments, what still needs to be done, what hasn't been done. I know that, the deficit is sort of ballooning. We'll chat about why and how that's going to get curtailed, and because there's already been some chat about the next year's budget and things like that too. So that'll be a segue into that. So that's good. That's one of our the last show that when she was on. That's one of our higher viewed shows that we have, is when she was on the show, and so that's good.
So on the other side of the coin,
yes,
provincial politics.
Yes, we have the first declared, announced candidate for the PC leadership that's going to be next year, and that's Danny Allain, former MLA, former CEO of MB Liquor, and. Been involved in experience in economic development as well. So he's declared his candidacy, and then he'll be on our show too.
Yeah, we'll get to talk to him
which will be his first time on, I think.
Yes.
So his first time on, and we'll be able to talk to him about launching his campaign and where he's getting support. And he seems to have been quite active in the last several months, but
very
now made it official. And
I listened to him on another podcast the other day, and he was talking about 5-point plans and how I think he's got to
re-engage,
rebuild, renew, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, we,
See how that goes.
the PC party just had an annual meeting this last weekend or so,
right.
and there was 150 people in
Apparently there
attendance.
was, yeah.
And Danielle Allain made a post or a comment that this is exactly why we need to re-engage and get more people involved, because 150 people is embarrassing.
Yeah.
There
We've
were
had many
days
more
when
in
you'd
the
have
past.
500, 750, 1,000
I
people
know.
easily.
Yeah.
So I think it probably reflects on the times,
Yeah,
but
being in
also
opposition,
being for sure in
cost
opposition.
prohibitive.
yeah, but just
$100 to go to it was
yeah.
it's a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another.
It's not
factor.
cheap to put those on either.
No, no.
So but he did give kudos to the organizing crew, and they put it together and they pulled it off, and we'll see how maybe get a rundown from him on the rules of engagement for leadership and what that means, timelines and membership and what you need to do to vote. And they're not having the conventional convention in one facility this time, which we saw the last leadership, how that went. It was very convoluted and difficult.
It doesn't accommodate the real people nowadays.
No,
anyways,
and a lot of them
people
are
that
going
busy
to
and
mail-in
active.
ballots now, like different levels. So we'll see what happens and what his thoughts are on that.
Yeah,
and
'cause that's,
you just play by the rules that are made.
rules
and
that are
you,
given to you.
and you use them. However,
Strategize and get
talk
the.
about that.
I guess the fact still remains that you have to get the most votes than
still have to
any
get the
other
most votes.
candidate. So it's ballot. It's mail-in only.
It's mail-in only.
Only gonna
and
be
I'm
mail-in.
unsure of the date.
only
Well,
got
let's
But
just
he
hope
knows
there's
more.
no strike.
I hope not.
Because the way we've been having
I
these
know.
strikes lately
know.
with Canada Post.
I'm sure that there's a backup plan of some sort.
I'm sure there's
There
two
would have to
backup
be.
plans knowing the PC
Right.
party.
Yes.
Right, of course.
So there's that, and then the it'll be interesting. I mean, it's not Danny Allain's doings of making the rules, but the other thing too is I believe the deadline to sign up as a member is sometime in August next year, and then the convention is like 6 weeks later. But I
Yeah.
guess that's to give time to mail in lick
Must be.
the stamp in the back of the envelope,
Run the-
mail it in. I guess.
Yes,
But,
to run the ballot in the
Yeah.
snowstorm that's going to.
Right.
yeah. So that'll be good. No other candidate is declared yet.
Not yet.
But we'll
I think
And
they're
that first
expecting.
one.
They're expecting. There's talk, but we'll see. And there is time. I wonder when the deadline is.
Yeah, July maybe next
Yeah.
year
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It was a bit
I did skim the.
The rules.
We'll talk about it all when he comes on.
Yes. Well, look.
Get
people
into some
have their
great
questions.
detail.
They
Listen
will
to his 5-point plan and
Yeah,
keep those in mind.
how it's been going.
yeah.
At least he's got the energy and the enthusiasm to do it, and it's a huge feat
That's what it takes.
to take on right now.
Well, that's what it takes. You just
Yep.
you look at anyone that's committed to politics and at that level, especially, it's harder and harder. We mentioned about it being 30 years
yeah.
since I first ran in provincial politics in
1995.
1995. And 30 years, it's hard to believe. And I feel things have changed. I am mostly my age, but and energy levels, but I think things have changed.
A lot has
and
changed.
whether
Yeah.
it's changed for the better of politics or not, I think it's debatable. But it just it's not the same. So it does take I think more than 120% of effort and time and commitment to put yourself forward to address the challenges that we have in this province, but and as a society. But you look at people like Danielle Allain, you look at Susan Holt, young family, active, they're all involved, but it's like 24 hours, 7 days a week, literally, and that's a big commitment. So anytime we can get our leaders on the Carr Brothers show to talk about why they're involved and explain and answer questions, we want to do that. We have to support as best as we can the democratic process.
And,
Yeah.
I think some show, in the future would be, if there's candidates, people thinking, well, what does it take to be a candidate and things like that. We'll have to talk about that too. People always ask, and it's always good to tell them all the benefits and all the challenge, but also the challenges as well. And Jody, you hit it right on the nail. It's pretty much a 24/7 job. It's more than a job, but 24/7, 7 days a week. So
no handbook to go along with it. No instruction manual. You gotta learn it as you go and rely on people that have done it.
Yeah.
But having the I guess the pros and the cons up front would be helpful for a lot of people, so there's no surprises, because oftentimes they're not told what the challenges are. It's just like, you'd be great at this. So.
Oftentimes the recruiters don't necessarily...
and the recruiters don't necessarily know themselves if they haven't actually done the
They've
job
never been
either.
elected, most of them. Right.
So sometimes
that happens quite a bit.
Sometimes they have been elected, and they're very close to it. But most jobs are, you don't really know what it's like until you're actually doing it fully. But oh well.
That's
anyways, what else do we have for the schedule?
Yeah, what else is coming up?
Well, we'll just we'll say the other guest that we have booked is from New England Pizza Company. It's, I don't know if you've been following, or viewers, I'm sure many have been following the New England Pizza Company over in the north side of Fredericton. It's well-known pizza company, but becoming very well-known now because they've had, as of today, about 3 million social media views and hits in the last couple of weeks. And that's outstanding, of course. So we're going to have the social media guy for the New England Pizza Company join us and talk about how and why their social media has just blown right up to get those many views and hits and likes and things and activity. And where it stemmed from was, if people have been following it, well, you know, the walking bridge, the former train bridge in Fredericton, and it's an underpass, and many times throughout the year, a transport truck will, inadvertently go through there.
Don't they realize that's going to be a low bridge?
Sometimes, Joe, they don't.
They don't.
They get stuck.
And there's reasons for that.
And it's a big ordeal, and it's on social media. Anyway, so the New England Pizza Company said, after the last one there a few weeks ago, they said, okay, well, let's do a contest to see how long it'll take. Everyone guessed to say how long it'll take before the next mishap. And I think it was like a day or two, maybe even a day, the next day, something like that. And it just blew right up. And the other thing is the social media guy, the guru for the New England Pizza Company, is just doing an outstanding job. If you look at those, they're funny, they're sarcastic, they're witty. Blunt, and it's a break. You get to it's entertainment, and plus, it's one of the best pizza companies in the greater Fredericton region. The pizza's great. So that'll be a good show.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Actually, that's going to be, that'll be next week's show.
Yeah.
So let's just get out the calendar for the date. So that'll debut on October the 6th. Thursday,
November the 6th. November the 6th.
Yeah, November.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Awesome.
Okay.
So guys, we're going to wrap this segment up and come back after a short break. And we'll just kind of wrap things up and talk about a few topical issues that have happened in the last little while, and then we'll sign off for this week. So come back in just a few minutes.
Hi there, welcome back to the Carr Brothers Show. It's episode 147, and it's our third and final segment of this evening's show. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jody. Welcome to the Carr Brothers Show.
Yeah.
Well,
So we've had a great discussion so far.
I missed you guys. Oh, it's so good to have you
It's
back.
good to be back. Get some routine on the show and talk about all kinds of different interesting things.
Local
events,
local
business.
community. Well, what is up topical here?
Well,
you're talking about?
very, very topical, and a legend of Charlotte County, and we just got done talking about some politics and provincial politics, and the 24/7 job that it is, 7 days a week. Well, the epitome, if you had looked up politician and service and providing guidance and service and longevity, would be Sheldon Lee. No stranger to New Brunswick politics, and particularly Charlotte County, where he was from, and he passed away just recently this past week, and we want to, I guess, give a little tribute to him and talk about how he impacted New Brunswick politics. Jody, you had the privilege of being able to sit with him.
Yeah.
He sat for 30 years or so in the legislature since 1978, I believe, or 74, I think. 1978, I think, was his first election. He ran in 1974, lost, I think, less than 100 votes, 80-some votes, something like that, and then went on back to the next election and won. I believe it was 78, so he was an opposition candidate, and then won, and didn't look back until retired in 2003.
Yeah,
didn't run in that election.
Longest serving minister of transportation too, I believe, in the province.
Wow. Yeah.
I believe.
Wow.
Well, quite a reputation. I mean, people all across the province knew, especially in the transportation part of government and the roads, and just his reputation of being involved with files, stopping on work sites, no one
Calling the
you
garages.
know. Also, his respect and the respect he showed to his department and to the people, contractors and different people involved with transportation as well. And I think some envy from around the province in terms of the work he got done for Charlotte County. Some highways, that Sheldon Lee Highway through Mine Road, he got a good jump on that. And but always a gentleman. I remember, so it was his last term in the legislature. It was my first term. And he sat in the front row in the opposition and really just sat there, but he was always present. Probably one of the last places he wanted to be, probably after such a long career, and then to sit back in opposition. But
because he'd been in government for 10 years up to that point.
Government,
right? So,
and opposition before that, and
yeah.
But when he did speak, he always was pointed. He always had something important to say. He didn't speak often, but he spoke and to give wisdom, advice. Sometimes there'd be some younger ones of us on the government side, and
all full of energy.
Yeah, me, Trevor Holder, Kirk McDonald, Louis Philippe McGraw, all under 30 years old. And,
wow,
spitting vinegar and whatnot. And he would every so often just say, "You fellas, like if we get them riled up a little bit." But he'd say, "You fellas, now, just settle down here. You got to know about this and you got to know about that." But I remember one of the they did a survey. Kathy Caulfield used to do the survey of most favorite MLA. She'd ask all the staff, like riding MLA constituent, who was the best this, that, maybe dressed, maybe this and that. Yeah. But at Sheldon Lee, I remember I think I shared an award with him for the category of best constituency MLA.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Wow!
So I was pretty honored that I was right in there with Sheldon Lee. So that's kind of a good memory. But you don't make them like that anymore. And politics is not like it was before as well. And
you don't have landlines anymore.
No,
back in his
landlines,
day, he did a lot of work on the telephone, landline telephone.
Yeah. So it's a legacy for sure.
Yeah, when I was sworn in as Minister of Transportation, and as most departments, when you go into the department in the reception area, all the photos, portraits of previous ministers are there. So it was pretty cool to have some departments don't hang your photo until you leave, which is the weirdest thing. Education, that was the way.
That was the way. So,
but at transportation, your portrait goes up when you go in. And to see all the previous ministers of transportation before me, and some pretty good ones, really good, outstanding people.
Bob McCready.
And then like along with the past ministers, like the more recent ones that I sat in the legislature with, Bill Oliver and Danny Landry and Jill Green and all those guys. Even Bill Fraser's was there on the wall, which I texted with him the other day, by the way. We were chatting about something. But then to see the legends that were there, Sheldon Lee's was one of them, and to have my portrait up there on the wall with those guys was pretty surreal. And later on, throughout my tenure at DTI, I got to meet his son Terry, who sits on the council down in the St. George area.
Oh, okay.
Eastern Charlotte, maybe is what they're called, I think. But anyhow, yeah, he's a counselor down there, and got to have a great chat with him and become friends with him. So, and of course, Sheldon's son-in-law was also a member of the legislature, Doug Harrison, who lives in our riding here now, close by, and it's a small world. But when you get to come in contact with some of those legends, and his health hasn't been great over the last number of years and months, but he passed on, and he touched a lot of people in the transportation construction world, and a lot of the guys that are still hanging around the construction world from when everybody talks about Sheldon Lee and getting subdivisions approved and chip seal here, and he knew how to do it.
Someone on the plow.
He must have been good at it because he stayed in that role for the whole, all of Frank McKenna's years.
That whole time.
So,
well, a couple things that come to mind for me. The first thing was when my first career was radio reporter and announcer, and every so often I'd get to fill in. Steve Fairbairn was the broadcast news reporter for the press gallery at the legislature. So anytime Kevin Bissett a little bit later too. So anytime they took time off or on vacation, well, then the local radio station would have to make up the time there. So we would be assigned at the legislature, because broadcast news would feed the stories all across New Brunswick, but also all across Canada. So we didn't have to have a reporter back then. Didn't have to have a reporter in the press gallery full time. So when they were on vacation, I'd
be filling in.
I'd get the assignment. Oh, you got to go down to the legislature for a newser. There's something going on down there. So I'd be, oh my gosh, okay. So I get to make sure the rig batteries and all that, and are in the recorder and things. So one of the times during the toll highway construction, and thank goodness we have it. But there was back then, if you're some of the younger viewers, but there was going to be proposed of having a toll on the highway to going through New Brunswick, and it was a huge issue. And so Sheldon Lee took a lot of heat from the naysayers and some of the public and things like that. But he was any scrum that I did with him was calm and cool. Jody, as to your point about being pointed and wise and steady. Calm and cool, and
just a steady hand,
never wavered on negativity or on objection and on anger and things like that, and just keep her even keel, and we'll figure this out. We're just gonna do this and this. And then the next thing I'll say too, try to be quick, is when Greg Thompson they had when he stopped being an MP, they had a celebration in honor of him in St. Andrews, and Sheldon Lee was there, which was pretty cool, the opposite spectrum. But they worked together quite well. But he was there in honor and respect of one of his political foes, but he was there. So I had just gotten elected, it was somewhere between 2008 and 2010. And so the Mine Road, a part of that road was it was in our riding, is in our riding, and and so it got done even while he wasn't even elected, and it needed about $2-3 million of work to get it done from the Sean Graham government then. So it was 2006, 2008, sometime in there. So I said, oh my gosh, thank you for starting, because it was such a great benefit for a lot of local people. I said, thanks for getting that road finished. I said, now how did you get that finished, and how did you get that in the capital budget? I said, it's hard for me to get county project money and this and that, and how did you get that much money for that road? And he said, well, all I had to do, and he almost as if I should know better, all I had to do was just go to them and say, look, we're just going to turn this into a capital project, and this started done, and there you go. And he made it seem so easy. But he was a master, and just knew how to get things done and be there for the people. And so this discussion goes out in tribute to Sheldon Lee and
his family.
And we want to just give our condolences to his family and his friends and all the people that he impacted in Charlotte County and the rest of the province.
Very good.
So
and we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that actually runs our time out, so we can leave it at that.
Yes, exactly.
And we want to thank our viewers for this show, this episode 147. And as we said, we've got about 8 shows before Christmas, and you can catch us on CHCO, on YouTube and Facebook.
And thank all our crew and behind the scenes, Jack. Jack.
Yes, we want to thank Terry Gallant, our switcher and operator, and just all-around great guy for being here with us. We couldn't do it without him. And also the folks in CHCO, Pat, Flo, Vicky, and all the rest as well, for sure.
So, yeah, we'll see you next week.